All right, guys, welcome back to CEVO season number 4. This is game number 2 between the Peruvians, Union Gaming, and Team Vas'Avi. Union Gaming going down in basically a mid-game train wreck for game number 1, hoping to bring it back here for game number 2, where Vas'Avi has taken and opted to go for first pick. They're going to get rid of the Nyx Assassin and the Ember Spirit. They're going to pick up that Dazzle again. Last game that was played by Ryanoob. I have seen Flying Zebra do that Dazzle before, as I was saying, and I was totally expecting it last game. I'm not going to make a call on it this time, as they both do play it. It's kind of like watching SNA Dota try to figure out who they're going to have play Axe. They've got some of the world's foremost Axe players on that team, and so they can basically rotate it around whomever wants to play it at the time, or whoever wants to play it at the time. Union Gaming is going to pick up the Naga Siren, the Ancient Apparition. Naga Siren coming out first because she is so flexible. She is able to get herself into a mid. She's able to get herself into a farming carry. She's able to grab herself a support position. This will probably be a mid Naga Siren based on the lineups that I see here. It looks like Union Gaming probably going to run that in the mid RTZ style. Lycan and Dazzle for Team Vas'Avi. The Dazzle works really, really well with Lycan. I've got to say, the Grave, you can cast it on Lycan, and he's able to chase down just about anybody with that shapeshift without fear of dropping himself. Shadow Shaman's going to come out as well. That's additional push, so prepare for a potential Zeus strat coming out of Vas'Avi. Union Gaming might want to consider doing out a ban on the Nature's Prophet if it's not picked up here. They're actually going to pick it up, yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. They're able to grab that, give themselves a little bit of push along with that Naga Siren, and not have to worry about the fact that Vas'Avi had that available. Vas'Avi might be thinking up a new strat here, though there are some decent push offlaners that are still on the table. The Nature's Prophet and the Naga Siren, along with the Doom, who can grab the Pack Leader's Aura, as well as the Unholy Aura. That's a fairly significant push squad. So Union Gaming looking to come into this early game a lot stronger than they did last time. Axe going to come out for Vas'Avi. And we are looking at a very aggressive squad. Axe and Lycan with the Shadow Shaman to apply significant push. And the Dazzle to mitigate some of the punishment for over-aggression. Vas'Avi, outside of the early laning phase, should be very, very forward. They're going to get rid of the Centaur. Union Gaming is. I don't know that's really a necessary ban. Centaur is popular, but he plays much the same role as an Axe. And I don't know that Vas'Avi would really want two melee heroes that are trying to soak up attention in that way. They probably... Well, it depends on if Axe is going to run in their off lane or not, which is a little early to tell. Vas'Avi probably just wants to get that basic item up on the Lycan with the Vladimir's offering. Go ahead and grab themselves some early game advantage. Try not to lose too many towers before that Lycan can grab the Aegis. And at that point in time, we could be looking at some extraordinarily aggressive pushing. Most important part of that strategy, get that mid tower. So we could be looking at a Death Prophet pickup, a Pugna pickup for Vas'Avi. It is certainly potential there and would fit the lineup extremely well. Now, Vas'Avi banning out that Vengeful Spirit. That makes a lot of sense with the Naga Siren as a potential late game. They're going to grab the Morphling as their farming carry. So now it does look like the Naga Siren is going to rotate into a support position, unless they're going to throw the Doombringer in the jungle. They could run the Morphling with the AA in the safe lane, Doombringer jungle, Naga Siren mid, Nature's Prophet off lane, but that would be extremely greedy. Morphling needs to get up a Lincoln Sphere, along with some other basic damage items before he can really assert himself. Doombringer is going to go for a Midas almost certainly, which means he's going to end up rolling into a more late game position. The Nature's Prophet probably also going to try to give Midas, and also very dependent on having the backup, the safety net. In case he falls off the trapeze of the off lane, he wants to be able to retire into that jungle to catch up and farm. If the Doombringer is monopolizing the jungle, he's not going to be able to do that. So it would be pretty greedy to do what it looks like Union Gaming might very well be doing. The Death Prophet is going to come out for Vas'Avi. No surprises there. As I said, it fits their lineup extremely well. They're going to be able to knock down that mid tower to open up space for the Lycan to go in and grab that Aegis without the TP reactions coming out of Union Gaming. So, as we are moving forward into game number 2 of Union Gaming versus Vas'Avi, I want to remind everyone that I am Gorgon the Wonder Cow, or for our Spanish friends, Me llamo Gorgon la vaca tremenda, I guess. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've spoken Spanish, as I told them in the chat. But either way, please do follow me over on Twitter at GotCowDota for updates on CEVO, on Join Dota League, on Dota Trash, Dota Pit, Thursday Evening Cup Series, Sunday Evening Cup Series, Amateur Dota 2 League, and all the other leagues that I do cast. I am casting Stag tonight. My normal co-caster Toffees is out because it is his wife's birthday, so there are some things that even Dota can't tear you away from. And I've just had a Dota crash, so speaking of things that can't tear me away from Dota, apparently Valve is not one of those, as they are going to go ahead and knock me down. I'm going to get rid of that. Forgot that was up there even. All right. We are going to be moving back into the game here very shortly. I appreciate your patience, as Dota has just completely crashed out for me. Very suddenly, and without any sort of apologies. Failed to start. No, thank you very much. All right, we are getting back into the game here. Apologize for that quick interruption. Like I said, if you do want to go ahead and follow me over on Twitter, I would appreciate it, as it does help me find work, as well as helps you find me, which is really the more important aspect for me. And we do have a pause, as I suspect some other people also dropped there. We will be getting back in. Union Gaming, once again, having connectivity issues, as they have been all game long. We should be looking at a game here very shortly. One more thing that I just want to throw out there for everybody. Do you like competitive level Dota? Do you like supporting North and South American Dota? Do you think that it's worthwhile? Because we have a new subscribe button that will not only help you support CEVO's Dota, but will also help you support CEVO's extra content, such as community challenges, such as additional content like streams, interviews, news. We want to do it all, but we can't do it yet because we don't have the funding. If you subscribe to the CEVO channel, you will get a subscription to all 3 CEVO Twitch channels for all of our esports. You'll get additional coverage, you'll get additional benefits and pluses. It's only a couple bucks and it will help us out tremendously. So please do consider making, if you're going to make one esport contribution for this season, make CEVO that contribution. It would really, really, really help us out. And of course, if you do want to make a contribution but you don't want to subscribe on CEVO, you can always buy the CEVO Season number 4 ticket here on the Dota 2 store, which will help increase the prize pools for all of these teams in the CEVO-Main, as well as the CEVO Open. And that's the end of my plugs for now, as we are seeing the unpause and squads are moving into their own respective jungles. I'm going to go ahead and run through our players as we see the scouting coming out of that Nature's Prophet for UG. We've got Ryanoob taking that Shadow Shaman. We've got Tubby the Fat taking the Lycan. Flying Zebra is going to be soaring around on that Dazzle. In the mid lane, we've got Lyca summoning her buddies on the Death Prophet. And for the off lane, it's going to be Axe spinning around, being played by that Railgun. I said that in the wrong order. All right, Belial for Union Gaming is going to be farming up that Morphling. For the top lane support, we've got Jericho chilling out on that Ancient Apparition. We've got Nova, and it looks like that is going to be support Nova. Yep. That is going to be Naga Siren. Citadel is going to be taking this mid Doombringer, and Angel himself will be taking that off lane Nature's Prophet, making sure that everything is organic and ready to eat. So Ryanoob found himself a double damage rune. We've got some very aggressive vision actually been placed down here by, I assume that was the Nature's Prophet. We've got a fair amount of vision coming out as well for the top river. This is particularly interesting. He wants to know specifically when his opponents are stacking and pulling. Presumably, maybe they expect that's going to be an Axe in the jungle. It's the only thing I can think of to make this ward more worthwhile than, say, this ward here. But either way, they're going to move on him down in the bottom, as Ryanoob has that double damage. Angel is actually going to chase him out. Ryanoob running away from the trees, but there's going to be the Poison Touch and some auto attacks coming out of Flying Zebra. Flying Zebra, well known, at least in this league, for his Dazzle play. And now Ryanoob coming back up. He hasn't leveled anything yet. He could, yeah, he goes for Shackles. He's not able to execute that, though. As Tuppy the Fat getting plenty of early game farm. Throwing up our stats here. Doombringer taking the top in the mid, grabbing the entire first wave. Very strong. Missing most of the second wave as he did get pushed in, and having a little bit of trouble dealing with that Death Prophet. Railgun Just trying to soak up as much experience as possible. He's not a hugely gold-dependent hero, but you do typically want to grab yourself a Blink Dagger and a Blade Mail on him, which can take a little bit of doing in that off-lane position for a melee hero. Alright, taking a look at some of our other mines. Both teams are going for early ganks. We both got the smoke to see. Other than that, nothing abnormal. Flying Zebra throwing out that Poison Touch again. Trying to make sure Nature's Prophet is forced out of this lane as early as possible. He'll go into the jungle eventually. They know it, and they want to open up as much space for Lycan as they possibly can. Ancient Apparition, meanwhile, up here trying to make sure that Nova has enough damage to output and harass Railgun out. Nova's taking a lot of damage here from those spins. A couple of those spins, a couple of lucky procs, and Nova could be in trouble. That's the problem with having one hero try to zone out an axe. Yeah, the likelihood of those spins coming out is significantly less if you don't have a lot of heroes attacking the axe, but at the same time, if you only have one hero over there, there's no help for him when 2 spins come out by total happenstance in a row, despite the 17% chance, I believe it is. Yeah, 17% chance. You can see 3 attacks and 2 spins. It happens, and it can wreck you in the early game with that lucky random number generation. As Citadel coming in with the haste rune, trying to assert himself a little bit. He does not have a bottle up. It's presumably on the courier coming out now. Yes, it is. That is where the courier is headed. And Ryanoob continuing to have trouble over here with the pull through, as the Treants are going to block that pull through. Nature's Prophet coming out here a little bit as well. Tubby the Fat just getting fat on high times here behind the tower, completely uncontested. There's going to be a smoke up top coming out of Nova and Jericho. With this tri-lane, they do have these Radiant side creeps pulled out, which is going to push them back in. And that was a really nice play coming out of Railgun, making sure that they were pulled out as far as possible. They're giving some experience the way of their opponents, but actually, he's going to be TP'd in on by... No, they're not even going to need it. There's going to be the wait for him. That's going to be First Blood. Items going out to our viewers, our loyal CEVO viewers who did grab themselves a ticket. But more importantly, First Blood going the way of UG once again. Now, this is going to be a rotation in as the Shackles goes out. Along with the Poison Touch, it is not going to be a chance for Angel to get away, as he does drop there as well. Lycus now in the mid lane. The only lane that hasn't seen any significant action. Alright, TP reaction coming out potentially. Yeah, Nature's Prophet canceling that out. Not going to cost him anything. He's trying to find a spot where he won't be seen, and he is going to be seen there. Poison Touch goes out. Just enough mana for Flying Zebra to get that out there, and the Wolves are going to chase him back. He's going to summon some Treants and try to make sure. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Belial actually taking a little bit of damage. Going to go back to the bottom lane. Now, as the Nature's Prophet is trying to get back in to contest this, but honestly, there's not a lot that he can do. He's been forced out of lane too much. He's a little bit behind on farm. He's probably a little bit behind on levels as well. And this tower potentially going to go down to the strength of the Wolves. No Serpent Wards up yet. The Poison Touch is keeping Angel off this tower. And finally, Nova is going to come down with Invisible and react. But the tower's already gone down. Now, the question is, are they going to be able to turn this into a kill on Tubby the Fat? He's actually going to go ahead and net down the courier and try to auto-attack it in. But there is just not enough damage there. It's a good thought, but could not execute. So that courier is going to get away. And Nagasaran actually took more damage than I think the courier did there from those Ancients. So, a nice try. Not quite able to execute that. There's going to be a bottle run coming out of Citadel here in the mid. So Nature's Prophet continues to run into his opponent's jungle. Nope, that's... I was looking at the minimap and miscalculating that. That is Tubby the Fat. My mistake. The Tubby the Fat said in the in-game chat, you guys might have seen it because I did not have my lobby screen up. It's like, man, you really like saying my name. It's a fun name. If you like this player, if you like this Vas'Avi team, you can go ahead and follow Tubby the Fat at Tubby the Fat on Twitter. And while you're over there, go ahead and follow me at GotCowDota. Little bit of plug. I like to see competitive level players getting a Twitter following. It does help out. Not only does it help out North American Dota scene, but it also helps out, you know, like CEVO. If those players start to get known, then we're more likely to get an audience, which means that the CEVO content that you are already coming in and enjoying will continue to grow in production quality and in caster skill and all those things that you want and need out of your esports. A little bit of a lull here. Morphling does have the Midas up. That had to come out at around, well, let's see. It came out, geez, around 4 minutes and 30 seconds. That was a fast Midas. And Lycan is farming even faster than the Morphling. So, in the mid lane, Nova is taking a fair amount of harass, but is going to get away. The 6 is up on Death Prophet, but she doesn't have the mana in order to push down at this tower with the Exorcism. Angel now trying to get these Ancients farmed up, and Ryanoob trying to catch up a little bit. He's going to be going for a Blink Dagger, presumably. Right now, he's just sitting on top of the brown boots. Same for the Axe, just sitting on top of the brown boots. Both of these heroes trying to get Blink Daggers up. At that point in time, we are going to be looking at some extraordinary push and aggression coming out of VA. At the moment, they did manage to grab that tower. They want to grab that mid tier 1 tower as well. These towers, this one here, and this mid tier 1 here, are extremely important for Lycan to be able to get in and get that Roshan. I'm not sure that I agree with this Midas pickup coming out of the Death Prophet. It's going to come out at 7 minutes, which is actually a fairly good time for a Death Prophet to be grabbing that Midas. But what she may not know is that the Morphling had his up earlier. And honestly, the late game doesn't look too promising for VA if they don't absolutely snowball. And the Midas doesn't really move in toward the snowballing. It actually kind of holds back and artificially extends your opponent's window of opportunity in a game by at least 7 minutes. It will help her keep her levels up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. So we'll have to see how that ends up treating her. I'm not sure how Ryanoob got back here. He just walked back. Okay. It looked like he was farther back in the trees than I had originally anticipated. But it was just a trick of my eyes. As wow, Ancient Apparition going down top. Belial also taking some Battle Hunger damage, and he's going to have to go back to the base. Now in the mid lane, we are seeing a little bit of harass and some push potential. There is the mana for the Exorcism plus a full bottle as Nova trying to force them out. Nova thinking about pulling these creeps back, but Lycus throwing out at least one auto attack as we are seeing the Nature's Prophet may be potentially trying to split push in on Ryanoob. Ryanoob might find himself in a little bit of trouble here as the Nature's Prophet comes in. The Treant's doing some harass. Ryanoob trying to auto-attack it down. And Ahil trying to make sure that he is at least applying some pressure as the mid tower is looking like it's going to be pushed down very, very soon. And this is what I was saying in the draft. This is what I've been saying all game. This mid tower is the next on the list. Very important. Lycan has everything he needs in order to go ahead and take Roshan, and look how quickly this tower is dropping. The A ult comes in, and Citadel coming in invisible with the Fire Ground. He is going to go ahead and throw down the Doom on Flying Zebra. Flying Zebra going to have to back out. He does not have the Grave for this fight. However, Nova taking a lot of damage. Nova's going to go down to the Grave, or going to go down to the auto attack, followed by the Crypt Swarm. And Lycan grabbing that kill. Dazzle does go down, but it's denied by the Death Prophet. So very, very nice denial. There's not going to be the reinitiation with the Exorcism, but Tuppy the Fat, like I said, has everything he needs for Nagus. He's got the Vladimir's Offering, he's got the Medallion of Courage, and now he's got no opponent tier 1 in the 2 reaction lane. So if the UG even sniffs it out, which at the moment they might not, in order to stop it, they would have to TP in to this tower or this tower and then walk all the way in through very, very blatant areas of vision. There's going to be the AA ult coming in, trying to protect Belial. Belial is going to move back out as he gets poison touched by Flying Zebra. Flying Zebra going to back out. Railgun in a bit of trouble now. He's been netted down. There's going to be a very nice grave as Railgun comes in, tries to make sure he gets a kill, and he is going to get that AA before he drops down. There, the Axe is going to drop down now. Angel has come in along with Lycus. Flying Zebra doing some auto attacks. There's going to be the Miss Sprout. Sprout is not going to stop Ryanoob, but Ryanoob is going to go down to the auto attack. Belial takes some auto attacks as well. The urn goes out from Flying Zebra. Flying Zebra making that happen, and the Crypt Swarm is going to secure that kill. That's a 3-for-2 trade. Went out for VA. Flying Zebra now on the chase after Angel. Angel trying to get away. He does not know that it is just a Dazzle, so he's going to retreat and make sure that he's playing it safe. This is going to be another tier 1 tower potentially as the bottle's gone, but presumably it's coming back out on the courier. Yes, the bottle's coming back out on the courier. Lycus is going to have his ultimate up very soon. Citadel coming out for the defense here along with Angel. And Tubby the Fat up here as well. So they've got all their push. The Shadow Shaman is 6 and is now coming up here as well. They probably won't need those wards to take this tower, but it would be helpful in a fight, potentially for tier 2. There's going to be the waveform and some auto attacks. Belial is, however, going to be auto attack down. The weave goes down. That's going to be very effective. The wolves have been caught up, but Tubby the Fat has not, as Angel does split up the Sprout. There's going to be the Doom on Railgun. Railgun not able to use the call. He's not able to up his armor either. There is going to be a denial. Another deny coming out of that Death Prophet. Very nice as the auto attacks go out on Citadel. Citadel taking a lot of damage. He's down to about 250 health. There is going to be the reduced armor, but the AO is going to force Tubby the Fat back out and off as they do turn around and decide to go after this tower. Now up in the top, we do see the Morphling is still waiting as Belial did not go down. The only hero who dropped there was denied. Once again, that's 2 denials from 1 player in 1 game against this Doombringer. Could you ask for more if you are VA? It's 6-6, but they are sitting at about 4,000 gold lead, about 3,000 experience lead, and their items continue to come out at a pretty strong pace. The mechanism actually going out onto the Doombringer, so that's very, very nice, but he was coming out of the mid, and his net worth is actually sitting down below the Morphling, but also about half, no, about 2/3 of the farm for that Death Prophet, who was his mid partner. So Death Prophet, even though she went for that Midas, even when you exclude the money from that Midas from her overall net worth, she's still sitting at about the same farm rate of that Doombringer. So maybe that Midas is coming to pay out for itself after all. She does also have a Cyclone Staff up with that Yule Scepter of Divinity. And the Midas, wow, a late Midas coming out for that Nature's Prophet. I told you in the draft that he would go for it. And it does make sense because they are shooting for late game, especially at this point where they're not able to get any towers whatsoever. But VA asserting themselves so much that I don't know if that Midas coming out at 12 minutes is even worth it. The Blink Dagger coming out on the Axe. Meanwhile, Tubby the Fat is being moved on by Belial. Belial just going to turn around and do some auto attacks. They don't think that they can catch him. The Shapeshift is up. There's going to be the Doom. There's going to be no Shapeshift. Now Belial falling a little bit too far back. Citadel wants to get this kill, however. He is going to be chickened out as he gets hexed. There's going to be the A ult, but it is going to be dodged. There's going to be the kill on Lycan. Belial has now been shackled down. There's the Weave and managed to hit 3 with Angel also being caught in there. The Weave helping out this Shadow Shaman a little bit as he tries to get away. He's going to pap us out. There is no damage coming out from Belial or Citadel, who are getting him very, very low. He throws out a second net that he stole from the Troll Warlord. Now the damage coming out from the tier 3. Very, very nice shackle. Citadel was sitting at very low armor, and he's actually getting very close to going down. He's down below 250 health. Now Belial trying to get out. There's some pings out on the Doombringer, but the Doombringer is going to get away. Belial trying to get himself back up. He is waveforming. He is trying to get his bottle back up, but it is not going to be enough as he gets dunked. And that is 3 for 1. Granted, UG did manage to grab the Lycan there, but at what cost? They traded in the Morphling, who's already fairly well behind. He got his Midas up super early, and he's still behind the Lycan. That Midas has almost been out long enough to pay for itself, but it has not been used with perfect cooldown every single time. Either way, UG is starting to fall well behind where they need to be for an early game push strat. They are going to have to rely on the late game. Now, Tubby the Fat is going to move in here. This is warded, but I don't know that there's anything UG can do because they don't have any heroes who can get down here very quickly. They've got the Naga Siren and they've got potentially the Nature's Prophet who could come down here. AA could throw the ulti in. That might be enough to scare VA out long enough for everybody else to react. But was that Boots of Travel? Yeah, Boots of Travel are up on the Morphling. So Morphling is able to react now. That's very helpful, actually. So once those Boots of Travs came out, Tubby the Fat not able to knock that down along with Flying Zebra. They're instead going to rotate in and apply some pressure to the bottom tower. Looks like they are looking to make a trade. Tier 1 for a pressure on Tier 2. This is not the best trade in the world for VA. Union Gaming taking heavy advantage of their positioning. 25 seconds before the Morphling can teleport back here, though. He does have a replicate, though, so Morphling can teleport twice at any given moment. Basically a tinker at this point. And Tubby the Fat coming in, doing some auto attack damage. Lycus is going to be wrecked by that Nature's Wrath as it comes through. The heal coming out from the Dazzle, though. And Lycanthrope sitting on top of that level 1 Necronomicon, trying to get a little bit of push out of that as well. The Wolf doing some damage. They managed to knock this tower down a lot farther than I would have expected. Railgun coming out, throwing out the Battle Hunger on Belial here in the mid lane. Belial is going to wait for him out. Try to walk away as some potential engagement still happening up here in the top. The heal goes out from Flying Zebra, getting everyone back into shape. Belial is going to wait for himself back up into the top lane. The Poison Touch does go out onto him. The Wolves are scouting out. They managed to find Jericho over there on the side. Nova trying to make sure that this lane does not go down, and we are seeing Tubby the Fat move into his opponent's. That is the Dire side secret shop. The Wolves doing a fair amount of damage here as Jericho is forced to back out with reduced armor. Citadel and Nova by themselves now as 4 still siege outside of their tier 2 tower bottom. There's going to be the Weave. Cast well in advance so that by the time they get into the tower, they have a lot of survivability. They just want to knock down this tower. The ultimates were up for Death Prophet and Shadow Shaman. They didn't want to use them, which means that they are going to rotate immediately for another tower or Roshan. They are going to go for Roshan. There's the exorcism cost. And at this point in time, that is exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to force enough pressure onto this tower that there would be no initiation onto the Roshan. This is very predictable coming out of VA, but also very difficult to stop. UG can't get their heroes down there. They could only get 2 heroes at most down to that Roshan pit, maybe with an AA ult, but AA's ult went down defending that top tower, or that bottom tower. As wow, Lyke is going to come in and do a fair amount of damage to Belial. Angel trying to do some auto attacks to dissuade him, but Flying Zebra coming in, and there's going to be Morphling using his ultimate to cast out on the Nature's Prophet. Railgun might not know that this is an illusion, as he is chasing it all the way through the jungle. Morphling just wanted to have a backup plan. He does know it's an illusion. He's going to let it go. Morphling just wanted a backup plan so that he could run literally 2 ways at once. Meanwhile, in the mid, it does seem like Citadel is going to chase after Ryanoob, who has been doomed. They're going to use all their ultimates on this, and Ryanoob is going to go down. Doombringer knows it, as long as there's not another deny. Okay, Belial going to pop in right next to Tuppy the Fat. Tuppy the Fat coming in after Nova. Nova taking some auto attacks. He's going to use the Siren Song for the first time in the match. He is going to go ahead and throw down some illusions here. He's going to reduce the armor of Railgun and Tuppy the Fat right away, but the Weave comes out to mitigate some of that. And Belial also being silenced out here. There's going to be the call, and he's going to take a lot of damage. The dunk just narrowly missed by Railgun, but it does not matter as the Morphling does go down. This is going to be a mid lane push, and Shadow Shaman's going to be back up here pretty quickly. Well, maybe not quickly enough. He's not going to be able to drop his ultimate on this tower, but the next tower, he will be around, and that ultimate will still be up. That is going to completely miss that AA ult, which is not dissuading whatsoever. As they grab another tier 2, and Vas'Avi asserting themselves up against the perennial Peruvians. They're just going to go ahead and push this up again. And now with the Shadow Shaman down bottom, pinging out for defense and standing down there without any of his teammate or any of his opponents. I'm not 100% sure what he's doing down there, but we do see the net go out on top of the Fat, who's under tower aggro. He's not going to switch the aggro. There it goes. It switches over to Lycus. Now side of the Citadel has been silenced out. Top of the Fat going to use the Lycanthrope ultimate. He is shapeshifted. He's trying to run away. The damage has been boosted by Chilling Touch. 3 charges still left on Citadel. Everybody else has used theirs. Citadel coming in. He's not able to grab that. He has moved up and gotten himself, ooh, a teleport. Very dangerous teleport coming out of Angel. And now Lyke is going to re-engage with the Exorcism. Tuppy the Fat has run out of shapeshift, but it does not matter. They're all going to catch up to Citadel. Citadel has no options here. He is going to be called, and he is going to be dunked by the axe. Now, Railgun on a killing spree. They're going to move in and grab this tower, and they bought enough time for the Shadow Shaman, who has gotten up his Blink Dagger, to come in and drop his ulti on this tower, along with a little bit of Exorcism. This is going to be a tier 3, possibly even likely a Rax, as Doom and Nature's Prophet have gone down, and there is really no reinitiation available. No real items, and the Aegis is still up on Lyke, and they haven't taken it. No real significant item finishes coming out of UG. The Ghost Scepter has come out for Morphling, but he's not really able to pump out enough damage for that shotgun to be scary. It's more like a Nerf gun at the moment. Meanwhile, for VA, Necronomicon 3 just finished on the Lycan. The Dazzle is working towards something with that Void Stone. Reclaimed in 3 minutes on that Aegis, but they pretty much gotten what they needed out of it, and they're going to smoke up and immediately rotate. It looks like everybody except Lycus is going to rotate here toward the bottom. And they are waiting for a potential push. They're just going to wait here smoked. Literally just hoping somebody's going to come down here. This is kind of a foolish maneuver in my mind. They just push in so hard into the mid. Oh my goodness, and it's going to work anyway. Belial is coming down here to farm, and he's going to be immediately cut out. The Weave used, and he's going to go down. So I say it looks like it's going to be a foolish maneuver, and as soon as I do, UG puts my foot directly into my mouth. As this next tower, taking a fair amount of harassment, the buyback forced out on the Morphling, that is devastating, as we're looking at a 12,000 gold lead. And in terms of experience, about 12,000 as well in favor of UG. Ryanoob just waiting up top. He's going to blink down. There is going to be the chicken. There's the Crypt Swarm as well. Some auto attacks. The Aftershock. And, oh, the mechanism keeping Jericho up for 1 second. But is it going to be long enough? There he is. He is going to get back thanks to the Siren Song. And there is going to be as well the Chilling Touch, just in case. They're going to get their entire squad out and back to the fountain for healing. But while that entire squad is healing, there is a huge push being maneuvered. The ultimate just came back up this second on Ryanoob, who is going to drop it on this tower. Some additional damage as the Exorcism is up as well. There's not a lot that can be done. The Wolves, the Necronomicon, this Mass Serpent Ward, the Exorcism, what could be done? The Sprout gets Tubby the Fat, but he's just going to chew his way through with the Quelling Blade. Belial has been chickened out as Angel trying to get Railgun off of Nova. Nova trying to run away. There's going to be the grave as Railgun tries to get back away. He's got barely any health. He is going to be shotgun, but not quite enough. He is going to narrowly get away. The Exorcism doing mass damage. Flying Zebra is going to go down. Citarel taking a lot of damage as well. He's been silenced out. Belial's been silenced out. Nova's been silenced out. Angel's been silenced out. And now we do see the AA go down. Covered the Fat coming in. There's going to be the Crypt Swarm. It's doing a fair amount of damage. Another big silence. It's going to go out on Citarel. The A just has been claimed. Belial is going to go Scepter himself, try to get away from damage, but W the Fat is presumably just going to come back here and do some objection-based Dota. The racks did fall during all of that, and now they're just going to move on the tower. Meanwhile, Ryan trying to force them back like a ship in a bottle. Throw down the cork. He's going to blink away. No level death. There is going to be the shotgun coming out of the Morphling, though. And that's a tier 4 tower down. Lycus on a killing streak. Meanwhile, he's going to go in. And he's going to take a little bit of punishment. The heart goes up on the Death Prophet. The Shivas is up on the Axe. At this point in time, we are just looking for items for our subscribers or for our Dota TV ticketed viewers, excuse me. For all of you who are ticketed in Dota TV, too, please make sure you think about stopping by our Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/playcevo1, where you can get updates on all of the CEVO matches, but you can also get community activities like having one-on-one streamed versus the casters. We have additional content other than the tournament that is not available on the Dota TV ticket, and we're looking to expand that frequently throughout the coming months. So if you do like CEVO, if you do like using your ticket for items, if you like using your ticket for good, strong American gameplay, do stop by twitch.tv/playcevo1. Throw a follow on there. If you really like us, throw us a subscribe so we can increase our production value and increase our content, increase our caster availability and skill level. All of those things and more when you subscribe to CEVO. That being said, it looks like we are going to be looking at an additional push here. This is going to be our game-ending push, it looks like. Belial thinks that he is a big boy on campus, but I think Lycan, these guys, tell me the fact, at all, are really just interested in ending this game. The game got prolonged by 45 minutes. There's going to be the weave, followed by some additional damage. She only touches out, but it's not going to be enough. There's going to be the poison touch. The Shiva's going out. Eugene Nova taking a fair amount of damage, but W the Fat forces it back out. But this Master Wards have gone down. They are attacking the Ancient. During all of this, the Exorcism doing good damage to Belial. Belial trying to get away. He's going to get away just because of the morph. Now the Grave goes out on Lycus. Railgun jumping in here. There's going to be no Grave for him. There's going to be one more spin before he does potentially go down. There's going to be Suicide coming out of the Bloodstone on the Dazzle, and the Axe does not go down before the Master Wards manage to grab that Ancient. No GG. Coming out before the Ancient went down. They went down fighting tooth and nail. Union Gaming losing this series 2-0 to Vas'Avi. If you do like CEVO, please do follow our channel. As I said, please do consider subscribing. It helps us out tremendously and helps us continue to provide strong compensation pools to the teams that compete well, both in open and in main. If you like the cast, also consider switching over to Twitter. And follow me at GotCowDota. That's twitter.com/GotCowDota. One more thing. If you follow me on Twitter, you will find information about an open registration tournament this weekend that is going to be on Dota TV, hosted and streamed by CEVO, put on by Vas'Avi, the winning team here. And it is free to register for anybody. It is a 4-money prize pool. There are, I'm not 100% sure what the prizes are, but it's $100+ prize on the line for a Friday night tournament, possibly bleeding into Saturday, depending on the length of gameplay. Stop by my Twitter, at GotCowDota, for more information about that. And we will see you guys next week for some additional Dota. I'm going to hang around the chat lobby and just chat you guys up for a little bit. So please do stick around and say hello. It's been my pleasure to bring you this CEVO Season number 4 match between Vas'Avi and Union Gaming. For CEVO, this is Gorgon, signing out.